In this tutorial, let's see how to pay bills. So you can pay bills in two ways. One is via electronic payment, one is via check payment. In this tutorial, let's see how to do an electronic payment pay bill. So what you do is you go to purchases, you click pay bills. So this is the screen which would appear. Now if you notice on top there are two items. One is pay from account and group with electronic payments. Now in this tutorial I'm showing you how to do an electronic payment. So I'm clicking this group with electronic payments. Okay, now I'm clicking this button here, the down arrow button, and it will give me all the suppliers and their balances due. Okay, so let's assume that I'm paying clear bright filters. So I'm double clicking this clear and bright filters. There you go. So there are two invoices outstanding, and now this screen is showing you only the outstanding items. If you want to show all items, you click this item here, include closed purchases. When you tick it, it will show you all the other invoices, but they're all zero balances because you have paid. Now if your company is dealing with purchase order numbers, it is good to view in this fashion. But if your company is not bothered about the purchase order numbers, but you want to see these as invoice numbers, then what you do is you go to setup, go to preferences, go to purchases, and you see this one, I show supplier invoice number in supplier payments. When you tick this and say okay, you would see the supplier invoice number. In this case it's invisible because we have never entered a supplier invoice number. See, this supplier invoice number is not entered. So if I'm putting something like 123 and say OK and say close, the 123 would appear. And let's put a supplier invoice number here as well. Now this supplier invoice number is exactly the number which appears on your invoice, okay, on your supplier bill. Let's say OK. So I'm unticking this so I can see the supplier invoice number. So it depends upon how you want to see the information and which one is easier for you. Okay, now let's make a payment. So there are two steps. One is we are paying the bill now. So the check number, usually you can put EFT because I'm doing an electronic payment. Now today's date, I can put it as 25/9, which is today's date, and the amount, if I'm paying just only one invoice, I would say 50220 because I'm only paying the top invoice. And I'm just clicking once and I hit tab on my keyboard. Observe what happens here. The out of balance becomes 0. So that's the magic number we always need to get. Out of balance should always be 0. Okay. Now if you're paying all the invoices, you don't have to manually add this. All you do is, you see this, pay all. So click this pay all button. So as soon as you click that pay all, it will become $631 and the out of balance is 0. Okay. Now in this tutorial, let's assume that I'm paying all the invoices. So I've clicked pay all. Now here the remittance advice status. So I would say to be emailed. Okay. As soon as you make this payment, you want to email the remittance advice. So let's click to be emailed and say record. Okay. Now that's the first step. So we have clicked this pay bill and we have uploaded a payment. The payment is ready to be uploaded. Now the next step is to take it out of the clearing account and upload a file into the bank so the money can be paid out of the bank account. Let's see how to do that. So now let's click this prepare electronic payment. Let's click that and come all the way down, and you see this one, $631, clear bright filters. That's what I want to pay. So what I do is I tick this. Okay, I tick this and I click this one. Remember, not record. You got to click the bank file. So when you click bank file, it will tell you the transaction will be recorded before the bank file is created. You said okay. So this window will appear all the time. Okay, so what it is telling you that once it creates the file, it will go and save somewhere. Now it's the accountant's responsibility to go and upload that file into the bank and pay the money. Okay, so don't forget it. So let's say okay. It will prompt you where you want to save it. So I'm saving here something like ABA file and today's date and my initials Krish Ravi Bhati, because I'm the accountant who's uploading it, and maybe say this is the first time I'm uploading it. So I can be uploading today, I can be uploading second file, third file, fourth file. This is just a standard file name sort of thing you can implement in your company, where you have the date, the person uploading, and with the number of file you're uploading. Okay, so this is an ABA file, and just save it. Okay, now the file is saved in ABA format in that folder. So the next step would be you need to go into your banking platform. It can be ANZ, Westpac, NAB, Commonwealth, whichever platform you're using. Go open the ANZ or your banking platform, upload this file, and pay out of the bank account. Okay, now what happens if you don't do it? If you don't do it, the next morning it appears as you have actually paid out of the bank account, you have paid these suppliers, but the money physically wouldn't have gone out of the bank account. So when you're doing the bank reconciliation, or your accounts receivable person or whoever is your accountant doing the bank reconciliation, he will come and ask you saying that why the money has not gone out of the bank account. Then you would go and say, I forgot to upload the file. Okay, so that's where it falls out. Now I'm using this clear water file. If you notice, there are a lot of items sitting here. It says pay employees and pay bills, spend money. Now this is a very, very dangerous situation, because I'm using a sample file. That's okay, but in reality you should not have any amount sitting here. Please be very careful here, because what this is telling us that the MYOB thinks that this particular person is paid. Okay, we have paid the salaries, but in banking system the money has never gone out of the bank account. You see, that's very dangerous. So even here when it says to this supplier we have paid $150, so this would be cleared out of outstanding invoices, but the money has never gone out of the bank account because it's not uploaded into the bank. Okay, so be careful that this area should always be clean. Right, so this, in this tutorial, that's how we've noticed. You go to paybill and prepare electronic payments. In the next tutorial, what we will do is we'll do a check print. Okay, that's we will learn how to do it in next tutorial.